We have a decision to make. Because when we went through the escape, it stopped the loop of the mind control facility. But maybe we'll start from here and we'll see if the loop is happening again. We have a cat with zoomies in our present. And she wants to destroy everything in her path. Very cat-like.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
I have two cats. They're both named after League of Legends characters. We have Yumi and we have Rengar. And right now Yumi is destroying the table and everything that's on it. Okay, we came from there, we pressed this. Let's move on.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
Since when am I reassuring the bucket? Isn't it supposed to be the other way around? The bucket's supposed to reassure me? The cat is in serious zoomies. So far nothing really changed besides the bucket. The bucket text.
Bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket.
Into the bucket.
He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
The bucket.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world.
Stanley and the bucket.
They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
The bucket is becoming sassy. I hope the bucket won't leave us.
When at last they came to the source of the room's power, Stanley and the bucket knew it was their obligation to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Well, if the bucket believes that it's our obligation, how can we say no to the bucket?
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over?
Was it over?
Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away.
So it's exactly
the two
like
of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to
played
live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth.
Okay,
Both of them
legit.
wanted to begin watching a movie,
It's a
any
good
movie,
goal.
but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support, and to... What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty. Until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave.
The bucket to leave.
Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth
back?
of the bucket.
What's gonna happen to us?
Not to part with the bucket.
I don't want to die here.
No.
I don't want to
Stanley
die.
can't leave this place.
Holding a bucket.
Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Why do I have the feeling we're gonna lose our bucket?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I need to look for the Stanley figurines. If I won't pick up the bucket, it won't be stolen from me. It's kind of good, right? But I kind of want to take it. We're gonna take it.
Warmth
taking the
spread
bucket.
through Stanley's arms and
Okay,
entered
since
the
we're
door on
looking
his
for
left.
Stanley
This was not the
figurines,
correct
let's
way to
go
the
to
meeting
the
room.
lounge room.
But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
The bucket is always right.
No, never mind. The bucket
It
was
wasn't wrong. The room was
Stanley
beautiful.
took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
You know, I always continue here. I never actually went into this room.
And so the two of them detoured through
Or
the
did I?
maintenance section and
Was
walked
I
straight
here?
ahead to the opposite door.
Oh. I actually wanted to go down that elevator. Oh, bummer. Trust the completionist instinct. Okay, so we definitely have to find them. And we have... Oh! Somewhere both red and blue. And a large room with lots of boxes. Where did we see both of them? There must be a point to it.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Downstairs, there were lights, but then we will die, and I don't want that to happen again. For the third time. A room with red and blue.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned
Red
to
and
discover
blue
not an
and a lot
indication
of
of any
box.
human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional
2845
dumpster fire,
was it?
if not for the soothing presence. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck.
Sheer luck.
Was it that the
Definitely
bucket
sheer
knew
luck.
all along?
Joey? Yes. Life with a cat. Okay, we need 2 more rooms. Right? 2 more rooms. Maybe we need to go to the escape, through the escape route.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death.
Yes, that's what you said last time, but it was a lie. It was a lie. Ready? Ready, ready? Whee! Whee! This was the end of the game last time. But we still haven't found the 2
As the machine
Stanleys.
whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be.
Is
To be sure,
disappointed
it
in
puts
the
the
bucket.
mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket. But what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is
He has
what
a
Stanley
point.
thought to himself. and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end, as it was
The
crushed
bucket's life.
violently
What about
to
my
death.
life? Ah.
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent
What
bucket.
about me?
It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest.
Well, it was a good bucket, but
glorious
like,
bucket
I
to
mean,
behold.
I feel wronged. I feel like the bucket is getting a lot more attention than my death or life, for that matter. Is it
Can
going
you
to be
see
all
how
about the
arrogant
bucket?
it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it
25
for his
well, it
own?
feels like more
Can
than
you see the
25
hubris
buckets.
that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
Well, that's rude. How dare you? That was rude? Excuse me? I am very useful. Very useful. Just so you know, lady. I can type kind of fast. Working from my office, number 427. I can type kind of fast. I have uses as a person, as a human being. And I may not bring comfort like the bucket, but I have uses. I can also make coffee. I came from this way. You're disturbing me. Stop it. The cat finally calmed down. Inferno bucket. It's a replica, don't worry. Not the original. Now the second cat has the zoomies. Like the caveman. Cave drawing, yes.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
You know what? If you replace the word bucket in everything that she said since we stepped foot into this museum-like room thingy, hallway, if you replace it with the word cat, makes a whole lot more sense. Cat. The hanging bucket. I have no choice but to jump down. Do I? You see, a bucket can't be as brave as we are, just jumping straight into oblivion. I'm sorry, what? I was completely ready to jump into oblivion. That scared me, even though I pressed on the button.
But there is something we can do.
Why did it
something
scare
we can
me
do
so
together,
much?
you and I, that will right this terrible wrong. Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine.
Hell
Don't
no.
reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
The bucket tried to sacrifice me for itself. We're not picking up the bucket next time. It doesn't deserve to be in our presence. We're not picking it up. We're not. It's not nice to us. It tried to sacrifice us to the gods. I don't know which gods. It doesn't matter.
He entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to
We're
stop by the
looking for
employee
Stanley
lounge
figurines,
first,
and it
just
said
to
that one
admire
of the
it.
rooms has a lot of boxes. No, we're not going into the open door on the left. We're going into the room with the boxes.
Stanley was
A
so
shit
bad at
ton of
following
boxes.
directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Okay. Stanley figurine supposed to be somewhere. Somewhere. There it is. Oh. Oh, you see that? How am I gonna reach it? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, but I can't jump, so like, friend, what do you want me to do? I can do that. We've never been here. Ooh, ooh, I'm excited. I'm excited. Okay, let's pick up the Stanley figurine without dying. That would be a good goal for us.
You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler and Marines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them, and now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler and Marines. None of us can.
We can't go back. Okay, we still need another one in a room with blue and red. What is in here? Oh.
Stanley had now gotten himself so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path.
What just happened?
That it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed.
It sounds like the thoughts in my head.
That it seemed the office had begun.
Randomly
so far off the
repeating.
beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path
Oh,
that it seemed the
cassettes.
office had begun. So far off the beaten
Narrator
path that it seemed the
dialogue.
office had begun. So far off the beaten
All of them are
that it seemed
narrator
the office had
dialogue.
begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far
Was
off the
this
beaten
room
path
always
that
here
it
and
seemed
I
the
never
office had begun.
noticed that we
So
can
far off the
go
beaten
down?
path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the
Oops,
beaten
so
path
that's very
that it
sad.
seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten
Okay, shut up.
path that it
You
seemed the
didn't
office
think
had
I was
begun.
actually just a recording, did you? What a
Kinda.
silly and trite explanation that would be. All the back and forth between you and me, all the absurd adventures we've been through, and it all turns out I'm just a tape recording? It was all just in Stanley's head. I bet that's the kind of twist you think is revelatory. I bet each and every time you watch a movie where it turns out all to be in the main character's imagination, you must absolutely bolt off the couch in pure shock at the phenomenal and intricate storytelling.
Bolt
It
off the
must be
couch.
so
That's
simple
exactly
to
what I
be
do
you.
each day.
Life being an unending waterfall of surprises and delights. How much more exciting you must find the world than the rest of us do. Now I've become sad. Look what you've done to me. This is all your fault.
Stop blaming me for your mistakes. Oh, it's completely different. I shall not take the bucket. Is the bucket golden now? It was silver before. We shall not take it. The bucket is evil.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay, we still need a room with red and blue lights. Was it over there?
Standing now in this incredible
Beautiful
room,
employee
Stanley for the
lounge.
but eager to get back
Maybe in here?
to head to the opposite door and got back on track.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office.
I didn't.
He wanted to wander about and get even further off track.
Of course,
So now,
more
in order to
interesting.
get back, he needed to go, No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? This
Yes.
story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Definitely this way, which is this way. Okay. Red and blue room.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
From the top. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Okay, now we
Stanley
have
decided to
the
go to the
balloons
meeting
back.
room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
We're taking the bucket
Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled.
and smile.
He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around.
I was on my way to the meeting room, and then I don't know, stuff happened. That's a different hallway, isn't it? Am I losing my mind? Because that's possible. Let's be fair. It is possible. Okay, I've been playing Stanley for the past 2.5 hours. My mind is gone.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
I'm losing my mind. Where is the room with the red and blue? I'm gonna Google that shit. It's driving me crazy. I'm sorry. I need to. This one is located in the colored doors room, found by jumping down from the cargo lift onto the catwalk and entering the open door. Okay, so we need to restart.
Coming to a staircase,
And go
Stanley and
to
the bucket
the-
walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Okay. Which will get us to restart faster. I think the mind control.
Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working,
We're
all of
gonna
it
see
monitored and
pictures of
commanded
birds
from
again.
this very place. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken,
Penguins!
this one was surely the best. And Stanley was happy.
I am also happy when I see penguins. Relatable.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Okay, give
Stan-
me my bucket.
Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together would be perfectly fine with him.
The bucket asks.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was
I know
not
where
the
we
correct
need to
way
go.
the meeting room,
No,
said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else.
I
The
love that
cargo
our
lift,
bucket
yes.
has an
Go
English
there.
accent.
Go to the cargo lift.
Okay. I'm guessing that this is where we need to go. This place.
He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he
Okay,
unthinkingly
okay.
did whatever
We
the
made
bucket
it.
asked.
We made it. We made it. We're good. No. Leave my cables. Leave my cables. Thank you very much. Danger everywhere. That's like the inside of my brain saying danger. Danger everywhere. Yes, brain, I am aware of that. That's called post-trauma. Stop it. Okay, so it's a new place. We've never been here because I never thought about jumping. Let's explore. We have our
No,
bucket.
stop! Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past this point. Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it.
Stop
This
it.
misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
Oh. Step where? Into the darkness? Do not stand on this side of the fence. Okay. It wants me to go into the darkness and it's claiming that I can't understand what a bucket is or isn't. Let's go into the darkness. The only logical thing we can do now. Right? Go straight into the darkness. Is this the bucket?
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin.
Can I?
Item 1. Is this a bucket?
Oh, first of all, can I get down from there? No, I cannot. You know, if it was filled with people, I would have felt a lot of pressure answering this, even though, like, I kind of can assume what the right answer is, you know?
Incorrect. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
I guess I can't.
Item 2. Is this a bucket?
It is a bucket.
Incorrect. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket. Item 3. Is this a bucket?
No, it's not a bucket.
Incorrect. This is a bucket.
What am I doing with my
Item
life?
4.
What?
Is this a bucket?
What am I doing with my life? What? Tell me what. Is this a bucket? No.
Correct. This is a tractor and not a bucket. To be honest, I just sort of put this one in here as a gimme, but I was starting to get concerned that even this might be too much for you. Thank you for not making me look like an idiot. Okay, next one. Is this a bucket?
Still not a bucket.
Incorrect. This is a bucket.
Excuse me? How the fuck is that a bucket? What am I missing?
Item 6. Is this a bucket?
It's a 3D hologram of a bucket, but I'm gonna press yes.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha. Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
What the fuck is happening? No. Unless it's a transparent bucket. And maybe the question is about the bucket that we're holding. That's why it's not on the stage. It's in our hands. Am I overthinking about a bucket? I'm overthinking
Yes,
about a bucket.
thank you. There's nothing here. Of course it isn't a bucket. We both know full well that nothing isn't a bucket. Wait, when I say nothing isn't a bucket, that makes it sound like I'm saying everything is a bucket, which of course is not true. Unless, is that what you think? Answer me straight, Stanley. Are you trying to tell me that you believe everything is a bucket?
Kinda, in a way. Everything
You know
can
what?
be used
I'm too confused
as,
to even
as,
sort
a,
it
as a
out.
bucket or
I've lost
connected
all
to
sense
I
of
don't know what I'm
perspective.
saying.
What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is?
Are we
bucket?
buckets? Are you a bucket?
Stanley,
Are
I
you a
can't
bucket?
keep doing this.
Admit,
I'm
are you a
losing myself,
bucket?
and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely.
No.
Okay, here we go.
No. I wanted to press X.
What happened? Is everything gone? Why did
Because
everything
everything is a
disappear?
bucket.
Was everything a bucket?
I was
Every
right.
single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea.
I
How
was
could-
right.
Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley,
Everything
you're still here.
is a
You're not a
bucket.
bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue. But it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game.
I
So,
have
tell
cat
you
hair
what,
everywhere.
I'll reset everything and we'll put back
Isn't
all
that
of the
lovely?
buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But
Everything
if you run
is a
into anyone
bucket.
else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go.
I'm sorry for telling you the truth. Maybe you're not a bucket. I'm sorry. Maybe it is too much for you to handle. But I think this far into our relationship, I need to tell you, friend. You're a bucket. Let that sink in. You're a bucket. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry it has to be this way. If only things were different.
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it. If he checked over
Where
his
did
shoulder
that
now,
come
he
from?
would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
Where did that come from? Please stop. Please stop. Why would you mess with me like that? Ah, that's not right, man. Oof. Why would it? Okay, since we are a bucket, we
A
must
good bucket.
take the
A strong
bucket.
bucket. A humble bucket.
humble
a
one.
committed bucket.
That's
a bucket
important.
of culture and distinction.
Wait, we went all the way to the corridor to collect the Stanley figurine, and we haven't found one. Google lied. In the colored doors room, found by jumping down from the cargo lift onto the catwalk and entering the open door. We're gonna find
Stanley
it ourselves.
clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not
Google
the correct
gave
way
us
to
the
the
clue.
meeting
We're
room.
gonna go
But
with the
Stanley
clue.
had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him
We're
that
gonna
the
be proud of
employee lounge
ourselves.
was
We are a
simply the
proud,
place to be.
humble bucket. That's what we are. We are a proud, humble bucket.
And here it was. Had the bucket...
I am losing my mind. Not to have the bucket in hand while going into this room, as you cannot take buckets into the room. Oh fuck. That means we need to restart. Yet again. Okay. Can we just die?
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's
But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend.
Okay, okay,
So
okay.
he threw himself to
Hear
his
me out.
death,
Hear me out.
that they might die
We're not
in one
taking the
another's
bucket.
arms.
Okay, we're
How
not taking the
deeply
bucket.
touching.
And we're going on that catwalk because there was this room that we couldn't
All of his
enter
co-workers
because
had
we
gone.
had a bucket.
What could it mean?
Okay,
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten
Okay.
off on the wrong foot
no
here.
bucket.
I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful.
No bucket.
Let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
And there it is, the last Stiggly Wiggly. Savor this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment. This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here. And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
Where the hell were we going? Oh. That's it. It didn't even give me an achievement. Okay, Stanley walked through the red door, so obviously...
Perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
Yes, the blue door.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
Yes, the
All
blue
right,
door.
fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well,
Yes.
don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far.
The skill
Tell
tree
you
would
what,
be nice.
Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option.
Oh,
This already
very
feels leaps
Minecrafty.
ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
We'll go with the 4.
Okay, so we're getting somewhere. Clearly there's something here that speaks to you. If I can be honest here, I really don't have any idea where I'm going with this. This whole third door thing was just a stab in the dark. But I guess you're into it, so let's keep this party train rolling.
Let's.
Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version.
Yes.
And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one.
Let's
take
see
a look.
it. Let's see it. Bring it on. Oh, it's so cool. How long does it take you to get into the correct door? We're gonna go into the orange one
Now,
again.
would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers,
Honest
please.
answer. I'm not that competitive, so I'm gonna press.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you?
Of
Perfect.
course, I'm here
Let me
to
boot
help.
it up.
I'm here to help.
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
What the fuck am I doing with my life?
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over.
It's over.
Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game, just to ease the pain? Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
What are we playing? Oh,
Ah, fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory?
I know this
What
game.
is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort
my
of
creep
twisted
tower?
erotic purpose. Yes, that must
Oh,
be it. What a fascinating
forgot the
venture into
name.
the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
oh, I know this game.
Oh, no. No, it can't be.
Can't be. What can't be? Very pretty.
It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly block it off.
Why?
Thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You nearly wandered off into that thing.
That
big
freedom
open,
thing?
just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley.
We're literally
Okay,
still
I'm
in
going
the
to
woods.
get us out of here.
Literally
Let's find
in the
another
woods.
game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls.
No, leave me in the nature.
Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
Back in our office. We're not.
Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed.
How can we get lost? I would like to
Okay,
get
so what
lost.
exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley,
You're
I
asking
think
me?
it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together.
Ooh,
Yes,
I
I
can
think
go
surely
in the-
we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
Oh, that's some ball. And I'm running really fast. I'm speeding. Boop. Give it a little head bump.
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun?
Is
Is
this
it better
fun?
than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on? Stanley, I have a thought, and I realize I'm not a sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal pleasure, then surely multiple balls makes for an even more euphoric sports experience. I'm going to try it out. Here comes another ball.
Wait, I'm not done with the
Yes.
ball. Give me
Oh,
the ball.
goodness, that really does feel amazing, doesn't
Oh,
it?
we have another ball.
Stanley, I'm like
We
a
can
child in a
book it too.
confectionery shop. I simply have to have more. I'm insatiable.
Oh, it was a good ball.
More balls.
More balls. Ah, mama. Too many balls. Whoop.
Are you enjoying this, Stanley? Are you having fun? Is this a real video game? Well, I sure hope you're having a good time, because guess what? It's over. That's right. Your little fun comes to an end. This is my game, and what I say goes. You get to have fun when I
Very
let
bossy
you, Stanley.
and
Besides,
sassy, and
you
I
need
don't like
someone
you
like me
right
to
now.
set boundaries for you. Without rules or boundaries, video games are nothing. Yes, that's what I am. I'm structure. I'm your sense of purpose.
You are an
and since you
asshole.
decided you didn't want to play my game, now I don't want to play with you either. So, goodbye, Stanley. I'm leaving. See how you like it when I'm not around to set the rules. Somehow, I don't think you'll enjoy it as much. But who knows? You're an inventive kid. You'll come up with something. After all, you're the one who knows best. Take care, Stanley.
He just disappeared. He disappeared on us. Where are we supposed to go?
Hold on.
Whee!
What are you doing?
Scary. Okay, we're okay.
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
Is this the first version of The Office? Oh, it's so cool. Oh, it's so cool. I love it. Our room, 427. Are we being watched? Or are we watching others? There is nothing I can press. Nothing is pressable. What am I supposed to do?
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon.
That's dark.
I can wait.
The end will be here soon. The end is never the end, is never the end, though. Okay, we've collected. That's not how the
Stanley, I'm sorry, but I have to put a pause on things. It's those figurines, those figglers. I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life?
Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness? Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone? I would love nothing more than to revisit the figurines. Just one more time.
What changed the memory zone? Oh. Hello there. This wasn't there in the first time we were here.
Here's where it all began. The first collectible. Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain?
How
were so
could we?
innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
7 out of 6. Legit?
And here was a second Stanlerine. I'll be honest, back then I had
8
no
out of
faith in
6.
you to find any of them, let alone 6. But you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways. Okay, let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini Stan? Can you remember?
In the bathroom.
Hey, that's exactly right. It was here in the boss's bathroom. It was the third one. You picked it up, and then after that, you had 3 of them. I'm glad these moments are so crystal clear in your memory,
But now I
I
have
shouldn't be
9.
surprised. After all, science tells us that it's impossible to forget your third time doing anything.
I'm not sure science says that. Not sure.
Let's see, what came next?
Oh, it's a pretty pink room.
Oh yes, we found a Figley in this pink room. Oh, well, I can't actually say I remember being in this room, but it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened.
It's such a pretty room. Right? Pretty! Wait, where are we going?
This was the 5th mini Stan, and this one was really something special. It was in the warehouse. I remember it so clearly. In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion. Enjoy.
Oh. Oh my god, it's such a PowerPoint presentation. There's such a old school PowerPoint presentation. I love it. Best boy.
Takes you back, doesn't it?
It
I spent a
does.
lot of time making that video, but it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else.
8 minutes. Okay. Where are we going next? In here?
And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here by the red and blue doors. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others.
Probably.
Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figley and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them.
That's
They're
all of
all
them.
collected. It was a moment unlike any other. Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like.
He has the point. He has a point, not gonna lie.
And then
there was no more. Because we've caught up to the present moment. Nothing left to do but move onward into the future. Goodbye, memory zone. No, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen. Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines? Let's just go backwards. We'll do the memory zone again from the opposite direction. See how that feels.
They don't want to. They have no choice, do I?
Okay, yes, the room with the red and blue doors. I remember this. I must say, of all the
13 out
figurines
of
we looked
6.
at in our initial tour of the memory zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep going. I want more.
Back? We're still going back? Okay. How many are there? Like 20?
And here's where I made that video. Don't you remember the video we watched?
I remember it.
Yes, I love that video.
It is a good video. 14 out of 6. It's a legitimate countdown. Oh, the pretty
Still don't
pink
remember
room.
the pink room, Stanley. Still no memory of this one. Good room, though. A solid room. These really were a treat to hunt down.
16 out of 6.
If there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have neutered the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one. This was our second Figley. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too. The past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going. This is it, the very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the figurines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there? What came before this?
Is it this room that we were in the beginning where Stanley looks extremely sad and fed up with life? Kinda relatable. Kinda. Oh, the jumping room.
Look, it's the terrible new content that we were originally sold on.
We were not
I remember
sold on
hating
it,
it
no.
back then. But time does put a rosy filter on everything. In fact, I dare say I'm actually quite fond of it now. Look how much fun the past is. I want more. More memories.
Are you fond of it?
Oh, yes, the two doors. Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one.
Oh, why is it so dark?
And before everything else, there was your office. Is there anything else? Was there something that came before your office? There's something I feel I can remember. I can remember.
What came before our office?
Yes, I'm remembering something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy. And I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions. He would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely? Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship.
Oh, that's so
and Stanley
sad.
really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with.
I don't need Stanley
You know what?
anymore.
Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good. I did enjoy telling his story so very much. Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Okay. Okay. Hear me out. Hear me out. Enough. Well, what can we say about Stanley that we haven't said before? Stanley is definitely an adventure. Okay, it's definitely an adventure. Stanley is driving me crazy because if you start a certain path, you must finish it even if you already done it a million times. So that's kind of annoying. So it's getting a bit repetitive. The concept is very cool. To be fair, I actually loved more the first part of the game before the new content, which is the original game, if I'm not mistaken. I loved it much better. The second part was kind of lost. It felt a bit messy, in my opinion. I loved the first part much more. Thank you for being here. Thank you for playing with me. And I will see you next time.